Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the First Exchange podcast with me, your host, Lydia Des Dolles, and I'm delighted to be joined in studio today by professional Bellator MMA fighter, Fabian Edwards. Yay!
And with the little change, put that in the background.
Welcome.
No, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming down.
No, thanks a lot for having me. Like I said, it's a nice place, you know, very big.
You were surprised that it was going to be so big.
I know, very, very surprised to them.
Everyone that comes down, they're like, yeah, I always thought it was going to be smaller, and they'll be like, you know, that we're selling stuff out of the back of a van or something.
Like on a shed or something.
It's a big operation.
Right.
But it's obviously Empire Fight Store, One Empire Management, Empire Pro Tape, and then Fight Connect TV.
Yeah, so everything just come
Everything
by.
is here.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's a good space for it, you know.
Well, thank you for your being so complimentary. I'm going to give you a brown envelope at the end of this, pay you off for your kind words. How are you?
I'm all right, you know. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, yeah. We obviously had a busy weekend. Well, my weekend was a little bit busier than yours.
Yeah. A lot busier.
But we obviously met each other at the Arnold's Sports Festival in Birmingham, your hometown, which was good. It was a bit of a crazy weekend.
Yeah, a bit mad.
Is that your first time being at something like that?
First time I've been. I'm not really into the whole muscle stuff, you know what I mean? If I'm honest. But they had a combat zone, you know, so I was like mainly in that zone. Yeah. Compared to everything else, but it's all right. I enjoyed it.
Did you know people that were fighting at it, or?
Yeah. A couple of my teammates was on there, just like doing jiu-jitsu competition. Yeah. So it was good to like go and watch. I was gonna compete, but I had a swollen elbow.
You did say this.
Yeah.
You were going to do jiu-jitsu.
Huh?
Was it going to be obviously jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. I was gonna step in last minute, but then I was like, yeah, my elbow's fucked. So.
Did they ask you to fight someone, or was it?
I walked up to him. I was like, "Can I jump in?" He's like, "Yeah, you can if you want." I was like, "Okay, let's check on my elbow first." And the elbow weren't good, so I thought, "Fuck yeah, I weren't." You know.
Do you tend to do that kind of in between fighting, like coach or help sort of like the younger guys that are coming up?
Yeah. I do that even when I'm fighting. You know what I mean? And it's always. I feel like you learn a lot from being able to coach somebody. Yeah. You know. And watching your teammates fight, because the more you see their mistakes, you can also learn from it, or you should at least, you know. Yeah,
well, it's an important element, I think, you know, that a lot of people, when they get to a certain stage, maybe at your level, they're kind of going towards that elite end of the sport, they kind of forget about what it was like at the start.
No. You should always like try give. I don't really see it as give back. I just see it as normal. You know what I mean? But I train the younger guys, because we got some guys in the gym that's really good. They're about 40, you know, up to like 16, and they're really good, better than I was. Yeah. So it's like, it's good to see that talent, and you have to just keep telling them, make sure you don't lose track. You know, because kids get older, girls come into their life.
This is what happens. We see it all the time. Listen, don't blame us, okay?
It is.
Stay focused.
No, so I have to tell them, stay focused. Don't allow the girls and the party to distract you from what's really important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you wish that you'd started younger?
Yeah, I do. But at the same time, I can't really. I don't like thinking about it. You know, because I've been at it I started when I was 22. I'm 28 now, so I forced myself. If I started at my brother's age, I would have been even more for savage, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm like 7 years beyond my brother. So but it is what it is. I'm happy to be where I'm at.
You had no experience, like combat sports experience before you started, did you?
No, I had a few like street fights. If that counts as something, right?
Well, I mean, if we're looking at maybe
I was undefeated.
Undefeated on the streets.
I was. That counts as something. To me, it does. But apart from that, nah. Nothing legit.
Nothing legit.
No, nothing legit right now. No.
But I mean, like, if you look at like how quickly the sports, especially any combat sports, but in particular MMA, like how fast paced it is. Yeah. I imagine would be a lot different like back then than it is now. It's changing all the time.
Yeah, loads. Even like back in 2014 when I started, 2015 when I started, it was still like, to me, it wasn't really that big. You know what I mean? Like my brother was the one that really opened my eyes towards the sport. I think he opened a lot of guys in Birmingham eyes towards the sport as well. So it's changing more and more. It's getting bigger and bigger. And the bigger that I get, my brother get, and everyone in Birmingham get, that's going to grow in Birmingham as well. So yeah, it's going down the right path, you know.
Obviously, your brother Lydia Edwards in the UFC. It definitely feels like now we're kind of moving into a time that people in your area from Birmingham, like there's so many good fighters, not just in combat, in MMA, but in wider combat sports, in boxing and different things. What do you think that is, or why do you think that is?
I don't know. I feel like for me personally, it's you see someone else do good, you want to do good as well. You know what I mean? You just keep driving each other on. So I feel like when you look at it that way, and not in like a hating way, you can really, you know what I mean? You can progress from it. So that's it. You know, I see my brother doing well. I'm thinking I want to do well as well. Somebody see me doing well. Same goal. They keep on pushing and trying to just be as good as each other. And like as you can see, our team's growing and growing, and I feel like that will keep on happening across Birmingham.
Totally, because it's one of those things, right, that you know, I don't think people take enough consideration into how positive like a role model can be to younger generation, in that, you know, if they see someone do something, doesn't matter what it is, but just achieve and be from their area, and they see something in themselves, it sort of like sparks them on to do whatever they need to do. So it is really important. Was there anyone when you were growing up that was like that, or?
Nothing positive.
But that's real though, you know?
There were no positive role model, if I'm honest, you know. If there was, I probably would have went down a much more positive path, you know what I mean? But I was always in trouble and stuff, you know. So so it's obviously good now to break the cycle, right? And obviously then be the positive role model that comes from that area. But there were no positive role models, but things change.
Do you think that that's like a you know, your training is a contribution to that, like all the different, you know, attributed, or the different factors, I suppose, that go into training, you know, whether it's like the discipline or having to show up, having to train, have to be consistent at something, it just simply like changes who you are as a person?
No, it does. It really does. You haven't really got time to be doing, at least I haven't really got time to be doing anything else. You know what I mean? So it just teaches that, it keeps you so occupied. If you're really obsessed with the sport, you're constantly in the gym, or when you're not in the gym, you're home resting or with your family. So for me, you just turn my life around completely. That's all I got time to do. I know I'm here now, but I got a swollen elbow, so I'd rather be in the gym. But
Don't lie, you be here. Don't make excuses.
No, but you know, I'm consumed by this game. I'm just being honest, you know. So it's hard to find anything else to do, and it's affecting me in a positive way, you know.
I think, you know, people underestimate the importance of like someone like yourself that has that dedication, especially in the kind of the cycle of MMA, and how quickly people get kind of built up and then very quickly they get found out. And I think there's like so many different contributing factors, whether they get to a level and they start partying, or like money gets involved, or whatever. You know, there's so much that goes into why they don't perform. For you, what point, or you know, when was that sort of switch that went, I want this as a career, and this is, you know, recognizing that you're good at this?
To be honest, I committed myself because 2014 I kind of started, but like I done it for a month, took 4 months off, done it for, so I don't really count 2014 as when I proper started, but 2015 is when I proper committed to it. You know what I mean? I said to myself, I'm just gonna give it my all and see what happens, you know. But the changing thing for me was, I do carpentry. I'm qualified carpenter.
No way. I am. I have a few bits that need doing in the house. You should have told me that.
I am. Probably can't remember how to do anything, but so I had this job, and I was on like apprenticeship wage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was time for me to get my I think like minimum wage, and the company was like, "No, fuck that, let's cut me." So then I thought to myself, "Fuck that, I ain't never working for anyone again like that." You know what I mean? And I thought I want to take it into my own hand, and I feel like, of course, you can get cut from promotion, but I feel like if you get cut from a promotion, it's your own fault. You haven't been working hard enough. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? So I thought, after that, I thought, I'm not gonna give it my all, you know. And then I've never really been back working, so yeah, I'll be fucked if I try to get a job. I don't even know what CV is.
So that's no plan B.
Nah, no plan B for me, honestly. I feel like as soon as you start plan B and thinking about other things, it distracts you. At least it distracts me, I should say. So like, I haven't achieved anything yet in my head. So until I start achieving certain things, then I can start looking and putting certain things in place. But at the moment, I'm all in, you know, just this sport alone.
Mm-hmm. Does it frustrate you when maybe your peers or people that you see, you know, on the same path as yours that don't have that focus and dedication and maybe have different opportunities?
Yeah, but I've tried, like, you got some of the guys in the gym and they're so talented. You know what I mean? Like, naturally, just gifted. You know what I mean? Good attributes and all of that, but they're just not really committed. I talk to them time and time again because you can see how... Maybe I should have had that.
You want to get some toast in here for Fabian, please?
Maybe I should have had that cup of tea. I hope the mic didn't pick that up. I mean, I'm dieting life, you know how it goes. But that's how it gets.
Middleweight life.
That's how it goes, like, sometimes. But yeah, they're not really committed and stuff. But you can't keep on speaking to them because they don't take your advice. It's just kind of wasted, you know. But yeah, there's not much you can do about it.
So when you were growing up, would there have been like boxing gyms? There probably wasn't the MMA gyms when you were a child, would they? No, they wouldn't have been. So like boxing gyms or, you know, what are you laughing at?
What brother can do it again? God, I'm actually alright as well. Yeah.
But you know, I'm trying to get a sense of like what life was like when you were growing up. Why were you getting in so much trouble?
You know what, the area I grew up around, and it's just like the background, like coming from Jamaica, and the area in Jamaica that I came from, we're just used to violence, you know what I mean? So that's pretty normal.
So did you grow up in Jamaica for a bit?
Yeah, I came here when I was like 10.
No way!
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So like, growing up in Jamaica, you're kind of used to certain things that's not normal, but you think it's normal. You know what I mean? So I came over, I remember I was scrapping in like primary school and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I came over in the last, like I think I spent like a year in primary school or something. I was like scrapping in primary school. I went to secondary school, I was scrapping. It's just something I've always been used to. But like, yeah, I think that's growing up around the area and people that hanging around with. That's got a big influence. It influenced me a lot. So I went down the wrong path. And then luckily, I found my way out of it, you know?
Yeah. Do you believe that everything happens for a reason?
Not really.
No?
Nah.
Do you think that you, like, what would you say? Like, you determine your own success, or that it's not in anyone else's hands but your own?
It's in your own hands, you know? I think it's how your outlook on life, you know? Like I said, we came from like nothing really, you know, like, literally. So the fact that we're able to turn stuff around, even after we came over here, and like I said, I was a lot of shit and I got in loads of trouble, you know what I mean? But even then, after I got in loads of trouble, I was still able to turn it around. And I turned around later as well, so it wasn't like I turned around when I was like 14. I turned around when I was like 21. You know what I mean? So you still can turn stuff around, but people's mentality, you know, a lot of people are just stuck in that mentality of look what happened to me and all of that sad story. I don't believe in sad stories, man. Just move on and just you know what I mean, just make shit happen. Yeah,
I agree with that to a degree. But also then you have to have a bit of like look back and go sort of compassion for yourself in a way, you know? No, can you understand why you might have like chosen the wrong way in life?
Yeah, I can look back and see how I could, you know what I mean, and why I did. But sometimes some of the things I look back and I think, why did I do that? Like, there's actually no reason. Yeah. There actually was just no reason at all. But I don't like to look back. I probably should a little bit, but I never look back because I'm always trying to look. When involved in sports, you're always looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Yes. So you never really sit back and think, actually, I don't know, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? You never really do that.
Well, that's a really good point because, you know, I think a lot of people, especially at this level, fighting all the time, you know, being on a big stage like Bellator or whatever the promotion is, that it's so easy to get caught up in the what's next and the kind of movement of everything. And then you get to a point then maybe like down the line, you look at with boxers, you know, that have retired and that, you know, achieved world champion status or whatever, and you ask them about that time and they're just, I can't really remember it. It just happened so fast. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they didn't take stock in the moment and appreciate where they are.
It was like that for me, because because I think I went like pretty much 6 years since when I started my career to like the last year a bit, and without taking a loss. You know what I mean? And I never really appreciate my wins. I never did. I was always just like, oh, that was... Even if it was like I went out and I smoked somebody in the first round, I thought, oh, that was shit. That was not good. Because like I wanted everything to be like flawless. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be anything like that was like, that was a bit, you know?
Yes.
So like, I just didn't really appreciate any of my wins. I was just like, oh, whatever. On to the next one. On to the next one. I thought when I took a loss, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. Maybe I should slow down and think about it a bit more. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I feel like now I start appreciating my wins. You know, yeah, I start appreciating my wins and appreciate the work that I put in. There's a lot of work put in to try to get a win. It's not as easy as... It might look easy, but it's not as easy as it looks, you know?
That's a really good point, actually, of like how... I haven't ever heard anyone say that a loss has made them appreciate the wins or recognise that they didn't appreciate their wins. And that kind of element of being real self-critical.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. Because I'm very like if I can win, I win, I'm just like... Like, and I just won. You know what I mean? I'm just like, whatever. But I just won. So it's like, I would say taking a loss, it's just like, okay, I need to start appreciating.
How did things change after your first loss? Because you wouldn't, I mean, you hadn't lost.
I think nothing, you think things change, but nothing really changed in a sense of, your family's still your family.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Your kids still love you. Everyone still love you the same, apart from maybe a few supporters. You know what I mean? But like, I expected that anyways, so that didn't really bother me. So after you realize all of that's still the same, then it's more to do with making sure you keep your confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a big part of, I think, me personally, a big part of this life is just having confidence to do with anything, you know? So like, for me, it was just keeping my confidence and just knowing that, okay, then I took a loss, but I know I'm going to achieve what I said I'm going to achieve in this sport. You know what I mean? I haven't allowed the loss to make me... You never hear me say to a fight, this could be a 50-50 fight. I don't know, I might win, I might... That would never be me. I'd be like, fuck that, I'm going to smoke him. You know what I mean? I would never allow it to make me change the way I talk about when I'm fighting. You know what I mean? So, yeah, once I realized that and I licked my wounds and I went away and just kept working. That's just how it goes, you know what I mean? Everyone takes it a bit differently, but I just took it like that.
Well, I mean, there's so much from like the mental side that goes into things as in any fight sport, and how it, you know, elements outside of the ring or the cage and how that affects the fighter at the end of the day and different things. And we've seen it so many times before where people have lost and it's mentally affected them. They've never been able to get that back on track.
Yeah, you can't allow that. You know what I mean? Like I say to the guys, because everyone always say, "Oh, what next?" It's either retirement or you carry on fight. You know what I mean? And a fighter losing, where do you go from here? It's like, we get back on the horse, you retire. Yeah. And I'm not going to retire, so I'm going to get back on the horse and try to fix the mistake and go again. And that's all you can do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Which is quite a positive mindset.
As I say, you have to always look at... I try my best to look at things in a positive way. You know what I mean? Because when you look at negative way, just keep on this. You start looking at everything in a negative way. So I just take it and just move on. I don't really like to hold on to grudges and hold on to things. I'm not really like that type of guy. You know what I mean?
I'm glad to hear it.
Unless he's fighting, I hold grudges.
You know, I heard you. I remember watching an interview of yours before. And you'd said, I'm paraphrasing this, probably not your direct quote, but it was something about when you go into the ring or the cage and you know, see your opponent or you go to fight them, that it's in those 8 weeks or however long you're in the camp that you really dislike them. And it's because they're trying to take something away from you.
Yeah, you really are. You know what I mean?
Explain that, because like everyday people that just work a 9 to 5, they don't understand that, you know? It's only if you're in that situation, if you're a fighter and you have to look at someone like that you would understand that. Yeah,
because like if you look at it this way, you work your normal 9 to 5, and let's say somebody comes along, and you know if you don't let's say sells, and you don't sell as much as she does, she's gonna take half your wage. You're like, you're looking at like that can't, you know what I mean? I'll be looking at that person like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna make sure that don't happen. I'll try my best to make sure that don't happen. You know, so. when I'm going in there, I've put myself through hard work. I don't really cut corners when I'm preparing for a fight. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything. I just train. You know what I mean? And I train. I'm an overtrainer. You know what I mean? So when I'm in there and I'm looking at somebody, first of all, it's trying to take half my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's enough for me.
That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough.
You know what I mean? It's trying to take half your money. You know what I mean? And second of all, he's trying to change my face. I got a handsome face, so I don't want my face to be changed, honestly. So he's trying to change my face, he could potentially kill me. Like if I'm looking at it, if you want to look at it brutally honest, he could.
Yeah.
He could. You know what I mean? So when we're in there, I'm not thinking of it as like, oh, this is just like, oh, just having a bit of fun here. It's like, take my money and he could rearrange my face. Yeah. That ain't happening. So I'm trying to rearrange his face, you know, and it sounds brutal, but that's just the sport or this thing that we call a sport, you know.
You do strike me as someone who's very calm though all the time.
I am. You know, say the psychos are the calm one, right?
They do say that. They definitely do.
The crazy man.
Always look out for the quiet one in the corner.
One. It's like I'm quiet and I'm not at the same time. You know what I mean? Because like when it comes to fighting, I talk my shit because I just say what I believe. Cause if you ask me about my next opponent or whoever I'm fighting next, I won't be like, oh, you know, I respect him. I'll just say how I say it if the cameras weren't there. Yeah. So it's like a lot of time the cameras come onto people, and the majority of people they're not talking like that behind closed door. They're saying, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this and that, but they try to come across a certain way, and it's like, and I don't really care. You know what I mean? And people take that as like you're trying to put on a front. But I've been this way since I was like 14 having fights. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a park having fights, you talk a bit of shit first. You know what I mean? Did a little build up in talking shit, then you see each other, then you fight. So it's just the same approach. Literally. This is a bigger stage now. But it's just the same.
But obviously, you know, like this industry is filled with talkers. It's filled with doers and talkers.
Yeah.
So for you, for someone who's like, you know, so if you want to invert commas, real,
yeah.
real, you know, how does that sit with you? Like, you know, that the industry is not always, you know, as maybe honest and, you know, because I think a lot of fans take it for face value. They think that it's almost real life, but there is a lot of people that are trying to protect their egos or their brands or how they come across and stuff like that. Do you find it hard navigating that world, you know, just being yourself? And
you know, at the start I did, you know what I mean? At the start I was trying to sound a certain way and...
What way were you trying to sound?
I was trying to sound just a bit more... I don't know if it's smart, but I don't know. I was just trying to sound a certain way, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I realize this doesn't really matter because people are going to like you and hate you even if you're the nicest person going. They'll still try to find a reason to... It's too nice, you know what I mean? Like people's trying to find a reason for anything. So I just thought I don't really care, you know what I mean? So I understand why some people pretend because they're trying to pretend to make themselves bigger and make money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's a money sport at the end of the day. So I get it, you know what I mean? But do what you have to do. So the fans buy into a lot of this shit, you know what I mean? They buy into people that's just actually scared. Like okay, like Colby Covington, Adam. He blatantly said he's putting on an act, like blatantly, but people still love it and hate it. But he blatantly said I'm putting on an act, and people still buy into it. So, yeah, do what you have to do, you know.
Is it weird? Maybe not now because you're used to it, but was it weird at the start? You know, having strangers talk about you, as in like, you know, people on social media, the MMA fans, you know, that talk about you in the lead up to a fight, after a fight, you know, and you're part of the conversation.
It is and it isn't, because when I was younger, I used to be a little rapper. So I've been popular since.
Well, you know what I'm gonna get you to do, don't you?
Not a chance.
Oh, you can't say that and not like, come on, spit a few bars.
There's even YouTube videos out. I can't. No one can find that out, but because it's a different name. But people who knows, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't really mind. I don't mind being in the public eye, and I don't mind people talking about me and all that type of stuff there, you know. I think once you agree with yourself that you're gonna try to go as far as you can go, you have to expect that. It's just part of the parcel, you know what I mean? Like if you want to be as big as you say you want to be, like, it just comes with it. You know what I mean? So I don't really mind it, you know.
Do you find this life difficult?
Nah, it's just a normal life.
But no, in terms of like the physicality of it, you know.
Yeah, I feel like every day I wake up, I'm just like, I was like, no.
Like, do you ever question, like, maybe I should have stuck to carpentry?
Oh, no, I never questioned.
Or rapping.
Maybe rapping I should have stuck to, but no, I don't, I never wake up and think, oh, fuck this, in terms of the sport.
Yeah.
I wake up, like 9 times out of 10, when I'm in camp, I wake up and I was like, oh, do I really need to go do this? Like, I woke up the other morning, it was feeling like raining. I had like an hour and a half run to do, and I was just like, I could hear the rain was heavy. I was just like, do I really need to? It's like 6 a.m. I was just like, I could have stayed in bed. And that's obviously, you just have an argument with yourself, and then you get out of bed and you hit the roads, you know?
Okay, slow that down, break that down. The arguments in your head, what is that like? Because I think this is what separates elite level athletes from people who can't even go to the gym twice a week.
I think it's like, obviously I've made a promise to myself in it, so regardless of whatever and how I feel, that voice that I'm having, that voice that's saying, "Nah, bro, just stay in bed, it's warm here," you know what I mean? that voice don't overtake the promise, if that makes sense. Like, the real voice that's saying, listen, you know you have to do this, because for you to achieve what you need to achieve, you can't just be lying in bed, you know what I mean? And so for me, it's just like having the discipline. I've made a promise to myself, and that's just it. So I can say it happens loads of times throughout the week, but I never give in to that voice. I'm not gonna lie to you, I never. I just finished a hard session, and then I'm lying on the mat and I'm thinking, oh, I got like 3 more sessions. I think I'm fucked, you know what I mean? But I go home, have some food, then I'm back to being all right. But it's just the voice that's always pop into your head, and it happens to everyone. The guys on the mats, when I speak to them, they say the same thing. Some guys listen to that voice, I'm not gonna lie, but then they'll never make it to where they really want to make it to, you know what I mean?
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw The Last Dance. Did you watch the Michael
I watched bits of it.
Did you watch a bit and turn it off?
No, I just watch bits. I think I just seen bits.
Right, okay. Well, you need to watch it.
Yeah,
you know, that's
do.
homework. You need to watch it. But basically, Michael Jordan's whole premise is like that, you know, what separated him from everyone else on his team was that self-reliancy and being able to be that disciplined and just always striving to want more and never giving himself like a day off of being anything but the best.
Yeah, I think but a lot of people forget, like, even after a fight, you know, and I have like a week off, I'm just like, what am I doing? I don't deserve this, you know what I mean? But obviously you have to be you have to be fair on yourself.
Of course you do.
You have to sometimes come back and feel like, okay, you are a human, you can just have like a few days off just to be normal, you know what I mean? So you're just thinking, but then thoughts come into my head, you know, like sometimes I don't have no days off for like a month. I don't even tell no one, because I know if I tell my coach, they'll be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like,
was that not a bad thing?
Huh?
Are you like you are a self-proclaimed overtrainer?
Yeah, I'm an overtrainer, I know that, but it's like, for me, I need to overtrain, because it's like in my head I'm so far behind, because like everyone else has started when they were like 14 and like 10 and shit. I was 14 doing bad stuff, you know what I mean? So like now I'm having to like, I feel like I'm having to catch up, but I'm already at the level.
Yeah.
So I can't like sit back and be like, oh, let me just take it slow. I can't take it slow. I need to just hit it hard and bring my level up. You know what I mean? Which I feel like I'm on a good level now anyway, but I just need to overpass everyone. You know what I mean? And by that I have to just outwork everyone.
Do you think it's that mindset or that kind of ability to, as you say, outwork everyone, that's been the result of how fast you got to Bellator? I mean, like the from when you turned pro, you know, it was only a few years where everyone was talking about you.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and that was it. Like I said to people, sometimes people message me, I'm AE and am I too late to start? I'm saying, I started when I was 22 years old, but it's not that old, but I started when I was 22 and I got to where I got to a bit fast, you know what I mean? And that's because I just trained, you know what I mean? I just constantly, I was in the gym. Even now, I'm just constantly in the gym. I do like loads of sessions. Sometimes I don't even like posting because if I post, my brother will be like, "What you do? What you do so much sessions for?" Well, I'm just like, I have to hide it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like a secret eater. You know what I mean? I have to hide my habits. So I'm just like, but I feel like it's got me to where I've got. You know what I mean? My body's still intact, just about. So like, I'll keep on doing it until I retire. To be honest, you know.
Is it as you expected? This whole life that you live?
It is, you know, because I see my brother going through what he's gone through type of thing, you know, so, but when you're going through yourself, you realize the discipline that it takes, you know. We got another younger brother, we got a few, but we got another young brother, he's like 27, and he's like, I could never do it, because he just love just living like normal. I'm like, you can't just constantly live like a normal person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's boring and it is what it is, you know what I mean? You just have to just be disciplined. And like, some people can't be disciplined to achieve certain things, but yeah, it is what I thought it was going to be, but it's still hard. You know what I mean? It's still a hard
Why
life.
do you think you and Leon were the ones who, you know, wanted to fight, or that do fight? What was different about both of you? I
think we were just we were the fighters. Yeah, I mean, we was fighters. Leon don't really talk about it, but Leon was bad. He doesn't even say it, but he was
he?
Yeah. He was bad. I swear he was bad. So I feel like I was following his footsteps. You know what I mean? So I think he was to do with part of my badness. I blame you, mate. Nah, but like, yeah, but like growing up, you know, he was fighting as well. I was fighting. Yeah, and I don't know. None of our other siblings really took on it. You know what I mean? Even still now. Obviously, maybe my son or Leon's son, my little brother, they're gonna take on it because they love watching it now. But
yeah,
apart from that, nah.
How does your mum feel about having sons as fighters?
She feels good because, you know, like, we're able to change certain things, like, and give stuff that we weren't given as we was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But watching us though, she can't watch us.
Yeah.
Like, she can't watch us. She's never watched any of us live. You know what I mean? So, and even when she watches us on telly, if you see the reaction, it's just crazy. Her reaction is just the most funniest thing ever.
Really?
That funniest thing ever. You know what I mean? So like, but she's just proud, just like a proud mom. You know what I mean? But she always say, why do you guys do this? You could pick something else, you know? Well, until we get the win, then she's happy, you know?
Yeah. Can you understand why she wouldn't want to see it?
Yeah, because like, I watch my brother and like, you know, like times that I'm cornering him, I drink all his water. I swear. I'm like, after my mouth goes so dry. I'm like so like involved. So I'm watching, I'm just constantly, you know, going in his corner. He's got like that much water left because I'm necking it. But like, it's a nerve-wracking thing. It's not because you're not confident in them. It's just, you know what I mean? Seeing a family member or some do something like that, it just makes you a bit nervous. You know what I mean?
How does it feel knowing that you're able to, like, give your family a new way of life through what you're doing, through your hard work, I suppose?
It feels good. It feels good, you know, and I feel like that as well is a big motivation. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I always look forward, just like the next step of everything. But sometimes, like, I got a friend and he's like, oh, remember that thing, you done this and that. And I was like, that's true, you know. So then you look back for that little tiny bit, you think, okay, I've got everything in life through like hard work, you know what I mean? And I feel like just believing myself and being disciplined. So like having all of that is I don't know, it feels good. You know, I feel like I'm gonna teach my kids certain things in life as well. Like if you want something in life, you can get it. You just have to be disciplined and just work hard, you know. And
it sounds so simple, but not many parents do that.
Yeah.
You know, not many. I always think that if people had grown up with, like, you know, parents who had, I don't want to say done something themselves, but, you know, had maybe set out to be disciplined, to set a focus, a goal and achieve it, how different it would be. Like and it's not through any fault of them, it's just the way that it is. You know, and most parents are working and whatever it might be, and they don't have the opportunity to, I suppose, find their goal or what their purpose is.
Yeah, that's life for a lot of people though. You know what I mean? Like,
it is.
Or even a lot of people, for me, a big part of mine was not letting life like at the start, like not letting life ruin my chances of being able to become something in the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's life happens, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like tragedy happens, all of this stuff happens, and it can throw you off mentally. So like for me, it was like whatever was happening, I was just saying to myself, like something would be happening, I'd be like, I just need to go to the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, whatever was happening or however I was feeling, I was like, I just need to be in the gym. I don't care about anything. I just like I thought I can't in my head. I like I can't control anything, but I can control this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I looked at I looked at things. You know what I mean? Which I don't know.
Do you think you could have changed your life around without the gym? Like, you think it's possible for people to change just by themselves?
You can, but it depends how you look at things, you know. Because even when I was doing the carpentry thing, there was the guy and he pretty much carried the company. And I said to him, I was like, why don't you just start your own company? He's like, nah. He's like, I know as long as I come here, I just get my wage at the end of the week. And that's just like how a lot of people think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't want to go out there and take the risk, and I understand that because you can take the risk and it might not work out at first. You know what I mean? And if you got a family at home and all of that type of stuff, they don't want to take that risk. So I do get it. But at the same time, you take that risk, and even if it doesn't work out the first time or the second or whatever, you keep on it. It can provide yourself a lot better way of living. You know what I mean? And but people just don't want to take that just don't want to take that risk.
It is about risk, though, isn't it? That's like a really good point.
It's a big risk because, like, say, if I was to do what I do and nothing worked out, I'll be going by like, did I have a carpentry? I wouldn't even remember how to do anything as well.
Your little hammer in your hand, knocking on doors.
No tools. I ain't got no more tools. There's a hammer. Like, can I have a job, please, mate? You know what I mean? Like, but you have to just go for it, man. That's really, you really have to believe in yourself and just go for it. Like, fuck it, don't matter what anyone says, you know.
Yeah. Do you believe in life purpose?
I don't know. Not really.
Do you not think you were meant to be here to do this?
I don't know. I got some tasty hands, so maybe. I've always been able to fight, so maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. Because, like, for me, it was, even before I committed fully, I was saying to myself, I was doing the carpentry, I was like, I'm going to get qualified. This was before I committed fully. I'm going to get qualified. I'm going to work a few years. I'm going to start my own business. You know what I mean? So my mentality has always been, like, trying to be, like, number one. You know what I mean? And trying to be number one in whatever I do. So even when I was younger and I was getting in trouble, I was trying to be the number one in terms of, I was trying to be, you know what I mean, the baddest type of kid. So, you know what I mean? I was trying to be the leader of the group. I was trying to be that type of person since I was younger. So, like, I feel like mentality just carried over into pretty much everything that I do, you know?
What's been your proudest moment?
Probably my kids, you know.
Really?
Fighting wise, probably nothing. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I'm very much like, I don't really feel until I've probably achieved the belt, then I'll be like, I'll be happy. I mean, I'm very hard on myself in terms, you know, I'm just like, whatever.
I get that. I understand why the benefits of being hard on yourself. Because that's obviously bringing you towards greatness or whatever. But do you not have a moment where you're like, look what you've done, you've worked really hard, and you're not where you want to be. Yeah. But
maybe. I don't know. I think maybe when I signed my contract.
Yeah.
And then when I signed like my third contract, my third contract was like a nice lump. So I was like, oh, I didn't thought I'd be on this at this moment. You know what I mean? So like, it was a proud moment because I was like, my hard work actually made me achieve these contracts. You know what I mean? So then it kind of showed to me I can achieve even more and more. You know what I mean? But apart from that, fight wise, not really. I don't really look. Like I said, I sound very like, but I just fight and just move on. You know what I mean? I just fight until I got a belt in my hand and I'm a world champion. Then I'll be like, okay, I'm proud of this one. And then I would say after that, I'd be like, fuck that, look for something else.
To be honest, I think if you win that world title, you're going to be like, what's next?
I would have like, what? I probably
new division.
And I would change division and everything. You know?
What is the ultimate goal? Like, do you have like a complete goal?
For me, it's like being remembered as one of like the best middleweights to ever do it and best fighters to ever do it. You know what I mean? So, I like to chop and change promotions. You know, I'm not trying to say because I believe the best fighters are in certain promotion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good fighters. You know, in every single promotion. So, I just like to be able to say I've tested myself against everyone. You know, so I like to be a champion in Bellator, achieve what I need to achieve over there, and then move on, and then achieve what I need to achieve in the UFC, and then retire as one of the best fighters. You know what I mean? I don't want, because you see some people and they're like, I've spoke to people and they're like, oh, you know, if I could just make it top 10 in the world, I'd be happy. And that's like their goal. Like I'm like, that could never be my goal, just to be like top 10. Like, nah, that's not even, I couldn't even think of that, something like that. You know what I mean? I would never say something like that. That's no goal. So like, yeah, that's my goal. Once it's all said and done, if I achieve those things, then I can be like, okay, actually done all right.
You take a day off. So when you get a day off.
I done okay then. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe I'll give myself some credit then.
And then we go back into music. Is that what we're going to do then?
When I'm like 60. Making jazz or something. Some jazz music.
It's an interesting one. All these questions that I'm asking you is kind of like loosely based around like mentality.
Yeah.
Because I just find it so interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Like why certain people do things a different way, you know, or like change the course of like their lives, or don't kind of stick to the normal path that people are meant to be on. Supposedly meant to be on.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But I think a big thing is to do with like, I don't think there's you can't say there's one reason. You know what I mean? And I couldn't say that that's the reason, because there's so many different factors that play in it. You know, so yeah, I couldn't even like pinpoint. You know, but I think if I asked for me, I think it's just trying to just give back to my family. You know what I mean? That's a massive thing for myself. That's making me stay on this path. You know what I mean? I'm just the type of person I am. I want to be the best. You know what I mean? So I think you can change your mentality though.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, I don't think like if you think a certain way, that's how you're gonna always think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think obviously it takes work, and a lot of people say they're willing to do the work, but they're not. You know what I mean? They start doing it and then they fall back into habits, and everyone's guilty of that. You know what I mean? But like, it's like, for example, we got guys in the gym and they're like, oh, I want to be better at this. And then they do it for like a week and then they abandon it. And they're like, why am I not getting better? I'm like, because things don't just take a week sometimes. It takes years and years and years. And even then, you might not still be the best. But you're going to show improvements. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't really do that. You know what I mean? They just give up straight away. It's
a good point. When you fight, do you recognize like a switch as soon as the bell goes in you? Like that, you know, like you're saying about that voice where like, you know, the discipline voice that makes you get up and go for the run at 6 o'clock in the rain. Like, is there another voice that comes in when you fight?
You know, as of late, nah, because I'm just too calm. You know what I mean? Like, as calm as I am now, you can say, go in that room and have a fight. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I go back, have a fight, come back, and I'm like, yeah. And carry on. You know what I mean? So, I must be crazy.
A little bit.
You know what I mean? But I feel like we all got like, I go through emotions up and down when it's like, if I'm walking out. So I always feel a tiny bit nervous when I'm like, you know, when you're waiting.
Yeah.
The Bellator, like, they don't allow you to walk out with your team. So you're like waiting on your own. You look behind, you can see your opponent as well behind there. Yeah. But he's like, you're not that close, but it's like, it's a bit, you can see him.
Yeah.
And you're just looking like, you're fucking mad. You're not, you know what I mean? So obviously you start like trying to, but as soon as you go in there, all that goes. There's no, you don't feel nervous. You just feel, at least me, I just feel calm. You know what I mean? I don't feel angry because I don't fight with anger. I just fight nice and calm, you know what I mean? So, yes, it's weird. Everyone got different feelings though.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you know, there's fighters like you that operate from a place of calmness. And then there's others that need to be so, like, you know, feel a rage or an anger and just need to take that person's head off. And
even though I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I'm going to take his head off, I don't go, you know what I mean? Even though I look at it and I think that, I don't go out there and just act our emotions. You know what I mean? I never ever act our emotions. Like, but that's not me. I just, as much as I feel it, I won't allow the emotions to take over and control me. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like if you control me, I won't be able to think clearly.
Yes.
Everyone's different, but that's just, my way of seeing it, you know?
Do you ever get a moment where you're about to walk out and go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Nah, you know what? In the change room, sometimes I'd be warming up. You're warming up and, you know what I mean? You're warming up and sort of thinking, fucking hell, like, what am I doing? And then obviously you switch back quick time, like, fuck, what do you mean? You know what I mean? So, but we all, like, I'm talking about, like, everyone I spoke to, like, everyone thinks the same. You know what I mean? But I think because people don't say it, people don't think, nah, this ain't normal. Man, it's the same feeling. Like, obviously, more than likely, you have, like, a toilet in your workout room.
Yeah.
I always go in there, have a wee. I look in the mirror, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, you've got this. You know what I mean? And they literally talking like, you got this, you're good. And you walk back out like nothing's happened. Like, you walk back out all, like, normal and calm. Yeah. But I was in there, you're talking to yourself, and, like, when I'm saying this to people are like, I did the same thing, you know what I mean? Like, I go through the same emotion. So, but in that moment, I know I've done the work. Yes. So I feel, as much as nervous I am, I don't feel like, oh, fucking, I didn't run, I didn't spar, I feel confident, you know what I mean? Where some people have looked in the mirror and thought, I haven't done the work, I'm fucked.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I haven't done enough work, shit. And then, you know.
And you can see it in their face when it's those people.
yeah, you can see, like, oh, I didn't run at 6 in the morning in the rain.
And you're like, done it twice.
I've done it loads, mate, so let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so fascinating, you know, like because I always think that, you know, my perception of it is that in those 8 weeks and then on fight night, like, fighters go through every type of emotion that is possible to go through, and it's all condensed into like 2 months. You know what I mean? So there's so many highs and lows that go in it. What is like some of we had Sonny Edwards in here for an episode, and he was talking about how when he's in camp, you know, like, the fans who maybe talk shit about him outside of, you know, fighting or on social media or whatever it is, because he's obviously a very likable / unlikable character, because he's quite, you know, vocal and is very opinionated and stuff, so he gets a lot of two-sided of fans on social media and stuff. But he was saying, you know, in fight camp, like, he gets like twitches, like, in the middle of the night, like, you know, he'll be like waking up doing combinations and stuff. He's like, there's all these different elements that go into a fight camp that people don't think. They think it's just like, oh yeah, really cool, you're in the gym, you do like 3 sessions and then you go home and have a bowl of broccoli and you're good to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I say, it depends on the person, you know. But for me, so when I signed the contract, I'm just like, I feel like just going out and just like running for 10 miles. Gotta get that buzz of this excitement, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I calm down, I'm not gonna lie. And let's go through the training camp. But like, as I'm training, I'm looking at my training partners as my opponent, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm thinking, so as somebody trying to do something, I'm thinking, fuck that, you know, that's not happening. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? But for me, I'm not really big on like stressing over something. I just think I'm just focused on what needs to be done. So I'm not big on thinking about, I don't care what I've said. Cause I always, whenever I'm fighting, I always like talk my shit. So I don't really care what I've said. I don't care what people have said. I don't care about nothing. None of that runs through my brain when I'm training. You know what I mean? I'm just focused on what needs to be focused on. And then when it's like fight time, you get that little feeling again. Then it goes. Then it goes. And then fight night comes. You come back a little bit. Then it goes. And you go in there and fight. You know what I mean? I'm not really big on like overthinking, because my brother always says it's just a fight. Like, it's just a fight, man. Just relax. It's just a fight. Like, you do this every day in the gym. So just relax yourself. So once he's told me that from my first amateur fight, that's always stuck with me. You know what I mean? And I feel like some people have put a lot. They put like more on it. I understand how big it is, because it's very important. But I think they're stressing it too much. It's just a fight. You know, I mean, someone came into the room and I tried to fight me, it'd be the same. I
don't think they're going to come in, to be honest, baby. I think you're all right there. No one's going to try it.
Don't go offer me out now. It'd probably be the same as me fighting. You know what I mean? So,
can you remember the feeling of your first amateur fight?
My first amateur fight.
Where was it?
It's somewhere in it's like a little hole in Edgbaston somewhere.
Where's that?
In Birmingham.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was so embarrassed though, because.
Go on. Why were you embarrassed?
Because I'm there. I'm warming up, and the promoters came in, I'm like, where's my opponent? Because we haven't seen him. You know what I mean? He's like, he said he's on the way. Just keep warming up. So I'm warming up anyways. Like 5 minutes before I go out, still no opponent. He's like, nah, he's here, all of that type of stuff. We were like, okay then. So I've gone in the ring. I've looked across and just a random guy in the ring. He's not even the same weight category as me. I swear, so I'm there and I'm thinking, I turn around to my brother, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, well, obviously they knew, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were just trying to get you there.
Yeah, they were like, we don't know, you know what I mean? So I'm walking out and obviously I'm nervous. You know what I mean? 'Cause I sold a few tickets and everyone come, I'm nervous, my first fight. And like, I feel like a Judas, but ran out with like touch hands and I just blasted him and broke his hand. You know what I mean? 'Cause like,
you did?
Yeah, I was like so nervous and I was walking out, all my coach was saying to me was, throw the left kick. And obviously it's a random opponent, I'm more nervous. With a touch glow and I just went whack and just hit him with it was like finishing like 4 seconds.
No way.
Yeah, then I was just like, I went out and I was just like all embarrassed, just like, I wasn't like, you know what I mean?
Why would you be embarrassed about that?
One, the guy was in my weight category.
Right,
you know
okay.
I mean?
Was he a lot lighter than you?
He was lighter than me.
Okay,
He was a random dude, you know what I mean? And two, I felt like I'd done the
Did they just pick him from the crowd?
No, when I found out what they did was they went in the change room and they're like, okay, we got this debut guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his opponent haven't turned up. Anyone else want to like jump in and fight? To the fighters. I was just someone was like, yeah, I'll fight him.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but I didn't expect to get his poor arm broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tough night for him.
Poor lad. You know what I mean? But after that fight, I was just like, I can't wait for my second fight. I didn't even post. I didn't even post it. I was just embarrassed. But I moved on, and then I smoked someone in my second one. So
how soon after did you have your amateur
like
fight?
4 weeks.
Oh, okay. So
I was very active. I had a couple, but then I had like 7 amateur fights in like 8 months or something like that.
That is a lot,
8 or 7 months. I was constantly fighting, constantly. My brother was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, cause he was like, "Yo, nah, just fight and just learn." And I was like, "Nah, cause I need to." I didn't want to like long it out.
Yeah.
Cause I was getting older and older, so I was like, I just need to get it done first. So I was just constantly fighting. I fight, and 2 weeks later I fight. Then a month later I fight. In a week I just constantly fighting. You know what I mean?
What was the biggest learning aspect? Obviously you have like, you know, your technique and your game plan and different things like that, but for you, kind of what was the biggest thing that you took away in that time fighting that frequently?
I think obviously I love being active, but I think for me it was staying constantly ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was constantly ready. I was constantly developing, but being able to develop under like going through real situations. Because it's different between like being in the gym and learning to actually like say I've just fought and I need to improve on this. You know what I mean? And so I just constantly learning through that. I go into a fight, something weren't right, back to the gym, work on it, plus other things, and then just try keep on. You know what I mean? I tried to take him into the pros as well. You know, in the pros, I had like 4 fights in like 10 months. You know what I mean? Which is like for MMA, like a decent amount.
It is. What was your decision for turning pro?
I thought I got to 10-0. That sounded like a good, 10-0 going pro. Yeah, I was like, that sounds all right. You know,
We're going to put in a rap, was it?
Yeah. I was like, it sounded lovely stuff. And plus as well, it was against like, I was like ranked number 1 amateur. He was against the number 1 amateur at the time. You know what I mean? I thought I just smoked him.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I'm kind of done. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I wasn't ranked number 1, I probably would have stayed on it. But I just smoked the number 1. I was number 1, so I ranked in not Ireland/UK or whatever. So I thought, yeah, fuck it. I jump to the pros. You know, but there weren't much difference.
You didn't feel there was much difference?
No.
Because that pressure of going amateur to pro, I think that gets on top of a lot of guys as well. That there's so much put on the pro debut, and like that, you know, a lot of boxing fans, a lot of media, they take so much from professional debut, and they sort of judge someone's career based on it in most cases.
Probably, you know what I mean? Like my debut went lovely. I took someone's head off, so like I don't even mind. But I don't want to put a lot of pressure on it. You know, but like I said, I don't really like to put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
You know, even though I work hard and I know the work I put in, I still don't like to put pressure on myself. I might hide it or something, but I just don't like to do it because I know if I put pressure on myself, I won't perform how I should. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Did you ever think that you might like to have had, you know, like, for example, if we look at boxing, a lot of guys that turn professional, there's this huge, and maybe because the blueprint is there for the amateur scene and it's been going on for so long, but you have guys that can, you know, easily have like 100 fights or 150 fights amateur boxing, and then they turn professional, or they go down like the Olympic route or the Team GB or whatever. Yeah. Do you ever look back and go, that would have been something that I might have enjoyed, like having like a regular, you know, amateur scene, I suppose, where you could rack up that many fights?
Yeah, there would have been. I would have been up to that, you know what I mean? But there weren't really that many. And obviously, you know, the higher the weight division goes, the less people there is in the divisions, you know what I mean? So, like, I ran through who I needed to run through, but if that was the case, I would have loved that, you know what I mean? But I feel like with MMA, MMA is kind of weird because you'll have like four amateur fight, everyone like, you're ready for pro.
Yeah.
You're ready. And then you go pro, you have like 3 pro fights, you're ready for the title. You're like, what?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is nuts, right? I mean, it's probably the only fight sport where this happens. Yeah. Everyone's fast-tracked.
Everyone's very, very fast-tracked. You know, it's good in certain ways because you can start late and like blow up quick. You know what I mean? And which is good. So like, but with the boxing, you know, if I was a boxer, I'd probably be 20-0, man. You know what I mean? I'd be fighting 20 cans. I would though, because they all fight cans. So
well.
Majority of them fight cans.
They do, but that's. I remember when I started covering boxing first, because I started covering MMA first, and then I moved into Thai and then boxing.
Yeah.
And I remember being at like pro debuts or people who were like, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is happening here? And then everyone was like, no, this is the way it is. Normal? It's just what happens. It seems so strange.
Yeah,
it's so like, different to MMA, right?
So different. So like, you know, like I love boxing, you know what I mean? So I'm not really into the whole debate of boxing and MMA, but if I was a boxer, I'd be 20 now. Basically, I'm just saying. Because like, I would have smoked 20 bombs, you know what I mean? But
have you ever been offered to jump into boxing for a fight or two?
Nah, I would though. I would.
Would you?
Yeah, cause obviously when I'm getting ready for a fight, I tend to go and do a bit of boxing sparring. You know what I mean? And like boxers always feel like MMA guys can't box. You know what I mean? Yes. They always feel that's the way.
They do.
But it's just like every sport. You're gonna have good people and bad people, and it. I mean, like, so I love my striking, so I can hold my own with boxers. You know what I mean?
So are you saying we might see you go into boxing? Is this an exclusive?
Maybe if any boxers want that work.
But I mean, like, obviously with everything that's happened over the last year or two, I know you've been out, so you're probably one of the luckier fighters that has gotten to fight. But it's good to know that there's like, we may see it in boxing or other disciplines.
Yeah, you have to I'd love to do a boxing match. I can't lie to you, but I'm just focused on MMA because luckily, the promotion got a lot of shows going on now. You know what I mean? But if I never, then I probably would be trying to fight a journey. Fight guy that's 0-50.
You know, they will come for you though. They want to like make an impression. This MMA guy that's going to move into boxing.
And it's 0-50, not a chance. Just a chance.
But like, because we're in, like, how do you feel about, you know, maybe not so much in MMA, but in boxing there obviously is the whole debate of like the YouTube fighter and, you know, like Thriller and people coming out of retirement and different things. How do you feel about it? Do you have an opinion on it?
Me personally, I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I see people hating on Jake Paul and the Paul brothers and that. Me personally, I don't really mind it. I'm just being honest, because at the end of the day, he's built himself as a brand, innit? Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's getting there, he's fighting. Don't matter if he's fighting shit people or not. He's still fighting. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I can't really hate on somebody for building himself up as the brand and then taking these fights. He's just doing what every other boxers do. Yeah. But, I mean, look at all the other boxers, Joshua. Look at all of them. They all just fight journeyman and shit people at the start of their career. So why do everyone expect for him to come through and fight a world champion? Yes. You know what I mean? Like a legit boxing world champion. Just let him do what he's doing. If you want to take it serious, then he can. If not, you don't. But like for me personally, I'm not gonna sit here and hate on another man for doing good.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's doing good. He's making money. I'm sure I've seen that he paid people extra and lost cards, so they got more money. You know what I mean? He's been campaigning for people to get paid more. So regardless if he's doing it for a joke or not, but he's still putting that out there. You know what I mean? He's still trying to campaign to get people better. So I'm not gonna be like, nah, fuck that. He's shit. He's making a mockery of the sport, because everyone else make a mockery. Everyone else to find journeyman that's like 0-50 or 0-200 or whatever the fucking. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Everyone else is doing it. Don't, you know what I mean? He just got lines shined on him because he's more popular, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously the thriller thing, I like it. The old boys fighting.
Do you?
Yeah. I didn't like the Evander Holyfield. Nah,
oh, come on. That was like...
sad.
They're trying to say that he tripped over his shoe.
That was very sad. That was sad. Because Vito was like juiced off his head.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
allegedly. Allegedly.
Man, he looked like he was 20 again. You know what I mean? So like, he shouldn't have fought. But it is what it is. I like it, man.
What do you have any like fighters that when you were growing up you were like, he's so cool?
Silva.
Yeah?
Yeah, Silva, you know what I mean? Obviously, like growing up and just understanding, everyone understands someone getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't understand fighting, you still know someone getting punched in the face type of thing. So like, Silva, when he was in his prime and was running for everyone, it was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm honest, I wasn't really massive into MMA. I wasn't watching all the greats. You know what I mean? But I was watching Silva and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, I mean, Anderson Silva is kind of he sort of changed the generation, didn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what
yeah.
so many people, you know, got into the sport. He would have been.
Yeah.
You know.
He could have been good. He could have been good at any sport, man. He's sick.
He
really
is.
You know what I mean?
Still is.
Even now, smoking tea. So
he's a legend. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Is there anything you'd change about MMA if someone said in the morning, we're going to make you the Lord Mayor chairperson of MMA?
For me, I think it would be like the amateurs getting paid.
Yes.
As they fight, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're paying to fight. You know what I mean? I feel like the pay. You know, I'm not trying to say give, because everyone don't deserve the same pay. Because some people are doing more than others, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just how stuff goes. But I feel like the pay could be better, and people could be looked after more after they're retired. You know what I mean? And I feel that's the thing, because you know, like a lot of sports, you're able to retire, but still got a little plan in place. Some guys, they've done good stuff in the sport, but they retire and they got nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Whether that's they blow the money or not, but I like to have something like that in place. You know, and I think that's about it, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's that is probably one of the biggest necessities in all fighting. You know, not just MMA, that there is something in place for people when they retire.
Yeah.
Whether it be, you know, financially, like financial stability, or mental support. I think because that's a massive part as well of, you know, fighters who no longer can fight.
I don't think no one thinks like that though.
Well, they definitely don't when you're fighting. You know what I mean? Well, look at the age bracket of people who fight. The majority is like, you know, you're going to be in your 20s, going into your early 30s. Yeah. And then, you know, it's very rare that, you know, in your 40s, you're still fighting and still being at a level.
Yeah.
There's the younger generation that are coming up behind you. But
yeah, that's true.
You know, so I don't think that a lot of them do factor in that, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this forever.
Everyone's blowing the money on hookers.
This is what, I mean, allegedly, Fabian, please, come on, allegedly, this is what happens.
No, but you have to be smart, man. You have to, people forget that this don't last forever.
Yes.
It don't last forever, man. So you have to invest it whilst you can, you know what I mean? Because these big paychecks or whatever people are getting, they won't always come. You know? That's
another important element as well, in that, you know, not all fighters have good management, good teams behind them that can advise them on stuff, you know. And then the bigger you get, more successful you get, there's more people, you know, that come.
Yeah.
The vultures, I like to call them. Yeah. That come to take little bits of your pot
I never
of gold.
understand how people allow that though. You know what I mean? Because like me as a person, like I can spot that. You know what I mean? I can spot someone gonna come into the clink on and try to take. You know what I mean? Like, that's just normal. Like, it should be obvious that, you know what I mean? Especially the take.
It should be.
You know what I mean? It should be.
But I don't think it is. But I think it's more, as your success grows, the more money you get. And there's like, people, clingers on that are trying to advise you and like tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And like, think about it, right? Like, when you're obviously in a really good position because you know yourself.
Yeah.
And also you have a brother who was in the sports.
Yeah.
But there's like, no one really, like, a lot of fighters I don't think have the guidance. They just start fighting, they start winning, they do well, and then how do you know what's a good manager, what's a good team if you've never had it before? Do you know what that means?
No, I get what I mean. I think that happens more in boxing than it do so.
It does a little bit.
MMA. Yeah. Boxing, I think there's a lot of percentage getting split about from management, coaches, all that type of stuff there. Whereas I don't think that much in MMA. But this is my third management company I've been with. You know what I mean? And that was just because that wasn't even due to advice. I just I went for it and thought, nah, he went for me. You know what I mean? So I feel like people need to be a bit more selfish, because at the end of the day, as good as the management is, if you don't if your manager is not doing as good as it should be doing, just get rid of him. You know what I mean? Because there's no personal feeling attached to it. It's just business. Yeah. So just do what's best for you,
This is definitely an industry that, it's important to separate the business from emotions.
Yeah.
Which I think is hard for people as well, because it's a very emotional sport.
Yeah, it is. Especially when someone's been there and they're like, I've been here from the start. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, fuck's sake. You know what I mean? And I can see how people are like, oh, fuck, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't really get rid, you know what I mean? But sometimes just after. It's not even it's nothing personal. It's just trying to do what's best for you at the end of the day. So when it's all said and done, you want to be able to say, I've done what's best for me. And regardless, it might be the wrong decision. It might not. Yeah. You want to say, I thought it was the right thing for me at the end of the day, without holding any emotions to it. You know what I mean?
Do you do regrets?
Do I regret?
Yeah. Do you do regrets? Like, do you regret things?
Not really. Not really.
I didn't think so, to be honest. I don't know why I asked you that.
I don't regret shit, man. It happened. It's me,
the stone cold murderer in the corner.
Little serial killer and that. No, I don't regret nothing. It's just, at the time I was doing it, I wasn't regretting it. I was enjoying it. Whatever I was doing, you know what I mean? I probably was. So,
well, that is
you know what I mean? So, why would I regret something that I was probably enjoying at the time? If, that's
you might have, I don't know, you could have hindsight that maybe it wasn't the best decision.
I don't know. Probably. Probably. By the time, though.
Well, there you go. We're coming to the end of our podcast, but I always ask this question to everyone that comes on. How would you like to be remembered?
In the sport.
Whatever.
I just like to be remembered as mad as it sounds, but just a good person, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But obviously, in terms of sport-wise, just as one of the best to ever do it. You know what I mean? Like, really. And to influence people. You know what I mean? I want to be influential. I'm a good guy. Because I haven't really been a good guy, so I like to be remembered as one.
You don't think you're changing the course already?
Oh, yeah, definitely changing. Yeah. Definitely changing. So, yeah.
You need an interesting chapter in the book, right? Where it starts out, where it could have gone wrong. And then you turned it around.
Now, I've got a few of those, but obviously I just don't want to say.
That's all right. I won't press you, don't worry.
I don't want to say just yet. You know what I mean? People end up digging on Google trying to find me.
Will you please rap for us before we let you go?
I can't. Not a chance. I'll show you a clip I'll show you a little clip off camera.
Okay.
So you can laugh.
And then I'll screenshot the YouTube channel and I'll tell everyone. That's what I'm going to do. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
Did you enjoy it?
It was good.
You were sweating that it was going to be an hour.
No, it was good. It was good because I thought it'd be just standard questions, but it was very just natural
conversation. I can't do normal questions. Well, one, because I never have them with me and I never know what I'm going to ask.
Yeah. So it's good.
Those people always say, what are you going to ask me? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what to do though.
I'll answer your question. But thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yay. That was Fabian Edwards for The First Exchange.